Hello and welcome to Leviathan News. I'm your host, Samuel McCullough, and this is the biggest stories of the week in DeFi. We've got a big roundup for you today before you go off to Passover and Easter weekend to spend time with your family, which I'm really looking forward to. We're going to go have an Easter egg hunt with the kids. But let's not waste time and get into the news of today. The biggest story of this week is that Aave has started buybacks of its Aave token using funds from its treasury over the next 6 months. They're going to be allocating $1 million per week to buy their governance token, Aave, and this is supposedly going to be used to benefit long-term stakers and other people in the protocol. This is the first time that Aave has done such buybacks, and they are currently sitting on about $115 million worth of treasury assets that they can use for this. Now, this buyback program has actually been a little contentious because in 2025, we know now that bear markets do happen, and we could be on the precipice of yet another bear market after the 2022 collapse of FTX. And if that were to take place, is it the right time for Aave to be buying back its governance token when we could be seeing maybe a year or two of decreased rates and also decreasing asset prices? I don't really know, and I don't think anybody really knows. And that's the question that the Aave DAO has to face: is should they be returning these funds through buybacks to investors to push up the price and support it, or should they be holding onto these funds for a rainy day and to be potentially a lender of last resort in case anything happens with their lending protocol? I mean, that's a big question that has to be answered. And we have some reporting about it on our email that we sent out today. Aave is trading at yearly lows at $134. And the question is this the right time to do it? And apparently it is. The DAO thought it was the right time, but we shall see how good its efficacy will be over the next 6 months. And we're going to keep on top of that story. Our next story is that Ostium, who we've had on the Leviathan News official podcast before, has really been kicking off after they started their points program. So they have done over $1 billion worth of trading volume on their Arbitrum-based perpetual futures DEX, and they've seen a 600% spike in wallet activity. And this is because they're distributing 500,000 points weekly from a 10 million point pool over the next few weeks. So they have been generating significant fees on a daily basis, upwards of $500,000 a day. And it's really quite a cool protocol. You should go back and listen to the interview that we did with Calidora from Ostium. And Ostium, if you didn't know, is perpetual DEX, but they're focusing on real life commodities, the S&P, and other products that you might see in TradFi, but doing it in a permissionless way. It's very cool. All right, let's go on to our next story, which that Wayfinder launched its prompt token on April 9th, so 2 days ago, after months of anticipation and a large-scale airdrop campaign. So we've not covered Wayfinder specifically before, and this just popped up in our feeds, but we have covered Parallel, which I have some cards actually for, and they're building a sci-fi trading card game, and this is in conjunction with Echelon Prime Foundation. So Wayfinder's token called Prompt is going to power a network of AI agents which are going to live in the game. So the project was inspired by a 2023 Stanford paper on simulating AI towns, which was about allowing agents to think, remember, and take action inside permissionless environments. And so the Prompt token is going to power this ecosystem used for agent execution, governance, and resource allocation within the protocol. So we've got more details about that inside of the email that we send out. Notably, there was some issues with the launch. An MEV bot was front-running claims, and they were able to siphon off about $200,000 worth of ETH from unsuspecting users during the claim period. That contract was shut down and they fixed the issues, but just a small hiccup in this token distribution. The problem token is now trading at a nearly 3x multiple from listing price. And our last story today is that a GMX whale has been liquidated for $13 million. This is one of the largest liquidations on the platform and represents its highest one-day fee gain after the whale was liquidated on a Bitcoin position on Avalanche and lost his $13 million worth of collateral. They had this trade open for months and months. And, when you make these public trades, people watch it pretty intensely. And so finally, he was liquidated this past week when Bitcoin prices dropped down to 76K. And now the $13 million is going to be passed on to the LPs of the protocol, which is in a token called GLP. 30% of the 13 million will be used to buy back GMX, and the remaining 10 million will be shared with the lucky depositors of GLP. Well, that's going to wrap everything up. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast today for Echoes from the Deep. Make sure to subscribe and share with your friends. This is a daily update where we cover the most important crypto and DeFi news. And you can find us at leviathannews.substack.com or on Telegram and Twitter at Leviathan_news. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Have a good Passover and Easter, and we will see you next week.